We'll start. So we have we will be talking about action verbs. There are two verbs in Japanese. One is the auxiliary verb. The other one is action verbs. Action verbs are the ones that have to do with actions, obviously. The auxiliary verb is the des. This is auxiliary verbs. Verb, and this is usually always used with noun plus des. The action verb takes some kind of and you need to use a particle here. And there are three groups in the action verbs. One is called verbs. And these include like hanasu, to speak.
To speak, yeah.
Yeah. Let's say yomu, to read.
To read.
Yeah. Oyogu, to swim.
Oh, to swim.
Yeah. And here I will write it here: to speak, to read, to swim, and hanasu, yomu, oyogu. Okay, so those ones are called group 1. It ends with u sound, which is why it's called group 1. Which I suppose I guess which is why it's called group 1, but that's not really why it's called group 1 verb, but because all verbs in Japanese end with u sound. But it has to do with the conjugation pattern. So group 2. These ones are the verbs that this is called a do verb. And these ones end with iru or eru sound. The ending is iru or eru. See, oyogu is the ending is ogu. This one is omu. This one is asu. So now these belong to iru or eru, which is why it's not considered to be group 1. And some of the primary examples are okiru or miru also, but I will just use 2 here. Okiru and taberu. Okiru, it ends with iru sound. Taberu again, and yeah. So again, this one means
Okay, is that to finish? No.
to wake up.
To wake up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Taberu is to eat, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you can see it ends with eru or iru sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those ones are okay. Also, I guess I should say dictionary forms or dictionary form. In Japanese, it's called terminal form.
What was that called?
Terminal form. Yeah. It ends. It's this usually it ends a sentence. Like the period comes after. So it's the kind of
Okay.
It's unconjugated, sort of very much. It's similar to infinitive in English.
Okay.
As opposed, okay. This one though, there are some exceptions for group 2. With, about, I would say about 10 or 15. I don't know. Maybe less. Like for instance, I will do this later. Actually, and okay. Now, group 3. these ones are called irregular verbs.
Mhm.
And we only have two irregular verbs. する and 来る。
I think I know kuru.
Yeah.
Is that right? Kuru?
Yeah.
No, maybe not. Is that to come?
Yes, exactly. To come. Yeah.
And to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Suru is to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some textbooks usually have 勉強する.
That's to study.
Yeah.
Is that to study?
Yes, to study. Yes.
Okay.
Kind of like making it look like there are more than two irregular verbs, but this essentially 勉強 is a noun, and this is a verb essentially to do the studying. So it's really the conjugation happens here, the same as this. So it's not really it's I mean, we have the combination like in English, do the laundry or do the dishes. We don't yeah. So I mean, you don't I mean, Japanese use a lot of to do combination, the noun with the to do. Much less than in English, but in English too, some verbs don't have some activities don't have the verb, like to do the laundry. You don't say I laundried my clothes. You could, but people would understand it. But to do the laundry, right? Okay. And this one is cool. This one is irregular because when you change this into a mass form, it changes completely different. します and 来ます. So します and 来ます. See, if you look at this, none of the letter remains. Like, yeah, す or る. There's no す in here. There's no る in here. There's no く in this conjugated version and る in the conjugated version either. So which is why it's called irregular verbs. And they, especially 来る changes. Well, actually, both changes fairly irregularly in many different parts of the language conjugation. But so these two, the only two irregular verbs, they are fairly kind of sort of you have to memorize them. But as opposed to in English, where English have many irregular verbs, like speak is irregular verb. To speak, basically anything that doesn't end with ed is an irregular verb in English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like cut or
Yeah.
bite.
Exactly. Yeah. Speak, spoke, spoken. Right. Light, rode, ridden. Eat, ate, eaten. Like so, we had as a Japanese, we had to remember all these irregular verbs that are like about 90 of them. So it's fairly easy here. These ones are irregular. Conjugation is always irregular. Whereas these ones are fairly reliably consistent. And so this is the base form. And in order to change this into mass form, first we'll start with group 2 because that's easiest. To start change into a mass form, you take ru out. You replace ru with mas. And that gives you oti and tabe. That's the stem when you take this out, right? And then you replace it with mas.
And that's fairly straightforward.
Yeah. So you just take ru out. So this ru disappears, and then change it to mas. What happens with these ones? The first group, it's called u verb because it's we only change u in conjugating, and changing this into for the first group you have to change this into e sound, and then you add mas. So the hana does remain, but this su part, the u sound changes into e sound. So it becomes this. It should become c sound, but we don't have this sound. In Japanese, we have shi, it becomes shi sound. So yeah, it's somewhat easier. But this is how you. I mean, if you type it in on keyboard like si, it gives you shi in Japanese. So yeah, and again yomu to read as well. All the groups in the first group, you take the last u sound. You basically atomically divide them into two halves and change this into e, and then again mas. So that it gives you, how does it change?
Yomimas?
Yeah, yomimasu. Good. Okay. How about how what do you think this would change into?
I think I know already. It's oyogimas.
Yes. Yeah. And oyo again, u changes into e. That gives you gi mas. And that's okay. So that's the dictionary form, the conjugation into the dictionary form. Now, let's see. What should I? Yeah. This is something I will give you later. But we have in Japanese high school or junior high school, we do actually. We have six forms of conjugation, 6 forms of verb conjugation. That we have to memorize. And one, it's called imperfective. Well, I mean, this was I actually translated myself. So, but this is so-called nai form. So nai form is the imperfect.
Sorry, don't to interrupt, but just to be clear, that so the nai form is just the it's like the negative.
Exactly.
Part of
yeah.
Okay.
And I think it is actually, I translated this as imperfective, but the apparently French textbooks also translated as imperfect. So yeah, it's called imperfective because activity is not completed, has not been completed. It's been, yeah, it's not, so you don't do something or you haven't done anything. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's the first conjugation, and the second one is the so-called continuative. Am I spelling right? I hope. Continue. Yeah.
Is it continuative or continuous or
yeah, this is the mass form. And it gives so this is the terminal form. It gives you the continuous form. Basically it gives you you can add, you can basically take the last part and add on to it, and just makes it. That's how I would kind of rationalize it, but it's just it's I mean, in Japanese it has a different explanation. I mean, then it has to do with more sort of a kind of like you know, personality, sort of like this very nitty-gritty of grammatical jargon. So, but I mean, I would just kind of think of this as, you know, you can just add on stuff. So this one, the must form also, I don't you probably know this, tai as well. Instead of must, if you use tai, it gives you like hanashi tai. It would be I want to talk. So you can change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Right. So this all happens here, which is very simple. I mean, if you this form is very this kind of a conjugation form. I will give you this the summary of this later. But the third one is called a dictionary form. Or terminal form. It ends the sentence, so nothing can come after it. Usually, just stop. It stops. It's a full stop, and this is a dictionary form, and which is what we did. Number 4. Attributive form. This is essentially the same as dictionary form. It's just not terminal. So like, see, 食べる plus こと, you add something to the dictionary form. Continuity form, you have to change. You have to change to change the ending to make it sort of make it mean something different, like must or tai. But with this one, attributive form, you don't change anything. You use the dictionary form, but dictionary form by definition is terminal form, so it has to stop. It has to end the sentence. But the attributive form is, you can just basically it's called a qualified noun phrase in English. But koto is a noun, or koto or mono or something. Noun. So the dictionary form of the verb plus noun means a thing that eats. Or if this was a hito, hito is also a noun. 食べる人 is a person who eats. So it's the same as the basically attributive form is very important in making in Japanese grammar it's called qualified noun phrase, but in like it's an equivalent of relative pronoun clause in English. So
without interrupting, just we've done something, and I know the bit that we've done. I don't understand completely what it. So we have koto. We were doing something where we were putting things together.
Mono. Koto ga, yes.
Koto. Is that the same sort of thing?
It's the same sort of thing. Yes. Koto ga is now this is acting as a subject. So this whole thing is a noun phrase. Basically, the attributive form is you use the dictionary form, but if you use the dictionary form, you have to end the sentence. But if you attributive form is just a kind of making it this when you it's kind of old philosophical sort of jargon that when you are cornered in your argument, just make a distinction and then just kind of like so basically it's the making distinction between you can just use terminal of attributive form 食べる plus noun, and then it makes the verb into a noun phrase. More like again genitive, or genitive or gerundive, whichever you feel more comfortable with.
Sorry, but you'd have to break both of those.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah,
what does it mean?
Yeah, okay. So wait, not genitive. Sorry, genitive is different. Sorry, gerundive. It's a grammatical jargon. I mean, nobody knows. I mean, so that's fine. That's just gerundive means it's a verb. It's a now how would you say the verb, it's a verb, a noun phrase is probably the best way to explain it. So it's 食べる is in it, but koto is noun. So this koto is a thing or event, and a thing that eats. I don't know. It's like eating. Basically, 食べること。
Okay, so is it like they say eating, so it's
the same as to eat.
Right.
Yeah.
So would I guess, is it like, I'm just trying to think of it in English terms, although I know I shouldn't sometimes, but it's like, is it like the ing kind of?
Yes, ing, yes, but ing, it's the participle. I don't know if you are familiar with present participle and past participle.
Yeah. I do remember doing that when I was 10 years
old. Yeah. So present participle would be the ing, eating, swimming. Past participle would be the past, swam or eaten. Eaten or taken.
Yes.
So it gives basically the same as eating, act of eating. Activity of eating.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So it makes a noun clause or noun phrase. So it's a noun, but it has an sort of activity involved in it. This is right about when I think what you are currently dealing with, or more or less, if you haven't dealt with this, you will be dealing with it. I think ことがあります。If you said こと、if you have done ことがあります。
I was just trying to find the part in his chapter 19.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's it says okay, so this is I think it's the tougher form, but ことが
tough form,
あります。Have the experience of
exactly
doing something.
And tough form plus ことがあります。That's correct. So we have to change this into the we will see this later. But we do have to change this into like to 食べたことがあります is I have the experience of. Yes, it's the same as present perfect. But you can also use like this way. 食べることがあります. That means I would occasionally do such a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, if the past tense plus ことがあります exists, then surely the present tense plus ことがあります also exists.
Yes.
They are just not mentioning it. Because it's not that important or it's not that useful. So but 食べることがあります is I am known to eat. 私は虫を食べることがあります。I sometimes eat insects. Or from third person perspective, that guy is known to eat insects. So 食べることがあります。Okay, so this is an attributive form, and we will get back to this later when the time calls for. But now introducing the fifth one. This one is the hypothetical potential form, and this one, to be honest, we don't really need it now. It's hypothetical and potential thing. I will explain this later, but there's this form. For now I just want you to know that there is this form, and in the sixth we have imperative. Now the imperative form is like it's a militaristic way, very strong imperative, like when you are very angry or when you are like disciplined, when you are militaristically disciplining somebody. So we don't use it. It's very impolite and rude. So normally we use take form plus ください instead of using imperative. So these two, we don't really have to bother much about it. And you already know this form, the must,
yes.
right? And you already know, you're sort of studying this one, dictionary form.
Yeah, I kind of know what
Yeah. And if you know the dictionary form, you know the attributive form as well. This one, because it's the same, it takes the same form. It's basically essentially the same. Just for grammatical function is different between the two. And you're now studying nine form. Well, you know nine form. So you know the first four cases, and this is good enough for at least N5 and N4. I mean, yeah, you can kind of get away with. I would say you can get away with N4 with this one as well. But what I want you to focus on here is though why is this sixth form, and why does this like dictionary form comes at number 3, and must is the content the second. Well, there's a reason for this. The conjugation pattern, it's all about conjugation pattern according to the group 1, verb. Like Japanese vowels, there are 5 vowels. Can you?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Was that the question?
Oh, the Japanese 5 vowels. Can you tell me?
Five.
Yeah, we have 5 vowels. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
A, E, U, E, O.
Yes. That's okay. Yeah. But see, this one takes a. This one takes E. This one takes U. This is the same as the dictionary form. So, and this one takes E. And this one is also takes E. There's no O here. Actually, no. This one takes O. Tabero. So this is why it's the 6th form of conjugation, and then this is how. So again, E, right? This is the E, which is why it takes E. This is dictionary form ends with U sound, which is why it comes here. Again, attributive as well. Hypothetical and takes the A. You change U into A plus ba. That's the hypothetical. So hana se ba means if I speak, and this one is has to do. It's imperative is a little bit tricky one. You kind of have to. Well, first of all, we never use it. But tabe, like you take lu out and then you change it into no. Yeah, you take u here. Anyway, it uses o or e, hana se. It depends on which the verbs you're dealing with. Yeah. But here now, nine form takes a. Again, it's kind of when you say like hana, how would you say like I don't speak?
I don't speak. Hanasunai.
Exactly. Yes. Right. See, you see this s still remains. It's just it changes into a sound. U changes into a sound.
Hanasanai.
Yeah, and then you put nai. And so hanasanai will be imperfective, and if you change this into e sound, hanashimasu, the continuative, hanasu will be the terminal form. Hanasu, again the attributive. Hanase plus ba will be hypothetical, if I speak. And in this case, hanase, it takes a here, imperative, but imperative is almost non-existent. I mean, non-existent. I mean, in studying Japanese as a foreign language. It's just
Can I just ask a question?
Go ahead. Yeah.
This is sorry, I should just say this is incredible.
Great. Yeah.
Thank you. But just a question. So the imperfective, the nine form, I understand what's happening there. But could you give me an example? I mean, just in English, of just one example of what is happening with all of these things. So, in the just the example of hanasu.
Yes.
So hanasanai.
Yes.
I don't speak.
Yes.
But what's happening with all the others? In just as a simple example of what's happening. If I were to say any one of those in this use the speak as an example.
What do you mean? Like
with the dictionary form or the mass form, because I understand what it is.
Yeah.
I can understand what it is when I have to do it as a written exercise.
Yes.
What am I actually saying when I say those things? So if it was
okay. So hanas, if you say hanasu as a dictionary form, then you're being indifferent or too straightforward, and you come across as a dude. So we don't usually use this in conversation, and we use mass form for a polite. It's a polite in order to change the bare, the verb form into a more polite form. You need to change this ending, and then have to add mass.
So am I saying, so in the mass form I'm saying I read?
Yeah.
And when it's the Thai form, I want to read.
Exactly. Yes. And in dictionary, so when you say yomu, what are you saying? You're saying essentially the same thing, but with bluntness, more like forcefulness, just indifference or forcefulness. It's your dictionary form is used in writing system or messages or signage that are addressed to indefinite many public. If you are talking to someone specific, then you are addressing someone specific. Like even a TV show, newscasters use mass form because they are addressing to the viewers. But if you are,
I think I get it. So the dictionary form is more indifferent.
Yeah. It's just, exactly. It's just just kind of like I don't know.
Fact.
Spontaneous generation, for instance. It just comes up, and so if you say so I mean we will actually think in like dictionary form, I think, but when it comes out in speech, it gets filtered through and changed into like a mass form, because or when you get more advanced, or you probably already use it, but with the dictionary form plus suffix like yo or ne, yo or ne.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
So
this one softens the term. So yomu yo would be I will read it. When it's very more friendly, it makes it friendlier. It softens these words.
Yeah.
But ne is more like a tag question, isn't it, kind of way. Yo is like affirming that I will do this. Okay. So yeah. So that's the kind of okay. So any so far so good.
No, that was excellent. Thank you.
Great. And there's another way, another thing I want to kind of explain shortly. So yeah, I mean, it's been recorded, and we can always go back to this, and we can so if you have any other questions later, if it comes up, you can ask me any other questions. But I do want to move on to the te and ta form. That's distinct there's no te form if you notice here, right? So te form is a distinct, it's a different thing. Also volitional form too. They're not, for some reason, it's not included in the 6 forms of conjugation system that we traditionally use. And te form is a specific, it's a kind of a subspecies, or it's a foreign species of the conjugation form. So I'm gonna just erase this and talk about te form. So with te form, you will need to informing te form. Te form. Here with group 1 verb, u, tsu, ru, anything that ends with u or tsu or ru changes into te. And and anything that ends with mu, bu, or nu changes into nde.
Okay.
So your mu, right? For instance, here, your mu, it ends with mu. So what ends with mu changes into nde. So your mu in the te form is yo nde. Yeah, 読んでください. Right? So and the rest, the one that ends with e, u, tsu, ru, mu, bu, nu. Yeah, I think that's e is sorry, ku. The one that ends with ku changes into ite. So kaku, like to write, becomes kaite. With an exception of iku, to go. This one changes into ite. So this is the only exception with the verb that ends with ku. So this is sort of like exception of the exception, basically. It's and the one that ends with gu changes into ide, which is fairly, straightforward. If what ends with ku changes into ite, what changes gu changes into ide. Makes sense, And then what ends with su changes into shite. So hanasu becomes hanashite.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you know ta form, then only then you can get ta form. If you know te form, or you can only then you can get ta form. From te form, if you have te form, if you know the conjugation into te form, in order to make this into ta form, the plain past, is you just take this te into ta, de into de, te into ta, like just te, yeah. So hanashita is I spoke, right? So te form is necessary to understand ta form. Otherwise, it's only with this one, group 2, it's very easy, because group 2 you only have to change do into you take do out and then you change this into te. That's otite, right? So again, ta form is you just simply you change te into ta, otita. But the group 1 is kind of te form is very difficult, very kind of it involves a lot of conjugation, or different types of conjugation, and but once you remember te form, then ta form is very simple. You only have to change te into ta.
So just as a question again. So
Yeah.
in the te form, like I was asking before, what's happening with the mass and
Yeah.
the dictionary form?
Mhm.
You know, is this so? If ta is the past, I guess it's the past tense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, plain past.
And so the te is the plain present. I'm speaking maybe.
Te. Oh, te is the we don't know. Te form doesn't have tense. It's the te is equivalent of end. Like so if it's te tabete, this is end. So it enumerates activities. You just I eat and drink and go to bed. Something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So te so de tabete no de, right? No mu becomes because it's a mu, no mu ends with mu. Te form becomes de. De I went to bed or I slept. 寝ました. Now, with this one, we don't know which tense it belongs to. The only way we can know how what tense this is by looking at the last verb. If this ends with mashita, then both of these are in the past. Because this is sequential. It's a sequential event.
This is just a language question then.
Yes.
I mean, this is a specifically Japanese language question. So how does when you're speaking or when one is speaking in Japanese, when Japanese people are speaking, let me rephrase that. When people are speaking in Japanese, because the verb comes at the end,
yes,
towards the end,
yes,
and the tense comes at the end,
yes,
you have to wait,
yes,
until you finish speaking to know what you would, just what you were talking about, what the context of the thing is, but also when that thing happens. Yes,
in principle, yes. However, in actuality, usually people would start from the temporal adverbs or place. They usually start in the beginning. 昨日, right? So yeah, you already know that it's this person is going to talk about the past.
Of course. So
whereas in English, it comes at the very end. You don't say yesterday. Well, you can say that, but it's not. You have to use a comma. Yesterday, comma, I went to, right? But and also in English literature class, it's not recommended. I think you get subtracted if you start sentence with yesterday, comma, I went to. I went to see the movie yesterday, and that's the So But in Japanese, it's the other way around. It's actually you are recommended to start with temporal adverbs or even like end, そして or so I mean connectives too. So that's
and that's a big no-no. You can't start. Well, you're not supposed to start with them.
Yeah, exactly. And in Japanese, you are supposed to start with them. So yeah. Okay. So this was something I wanted to kind of explain. This is the order. I mean, I would say that. I mean, there's no correct order. I mean, you can whatever feels more appropriate is. But this is I think most effective or more kind of it's palatable way of understanding how all conjugations work, and it's a most effective way. I think it's very minimal. It requires minimal effort, and once you know the dictionary form, it's just fairly simple. You just only have to apply the formula. So it requires that minimal effort to the and yeah. So next time we might want to talk about like adjectives or something. But which
this
is
really, 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 really good.
Good, great. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, and it's. I don't want to say it, but it's like I've understood the the mechanic. I think I could get the mechanics of it,
Yeah.
but not understood what it was that I was
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I can see it in
Right? Yeah. It's really important to know what you're saying, right? It's just it comes, sometimes, I mean, to a point you can actually say things without knowing, and it's fine. But I mean, if you want to live in the country, you do need to know why you are saying what you're saying. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about passing the test.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Now, this has been really insightful.
Great. Thank you.
I've booked another.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen it, but I've booked another chunk of lessons.
Great. Thank you so much. Yes.
And so
Yeah.
I've got one on Thursday, and
Yeah.
what I'll try to do is have at least for the next month while I'm around.
Yeah. Okay.
Two a week.
Okay.
Because I've got
lots of questions. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's great.
Let's talk about those questions. Yeah, more. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So I will see you on Thursday.
Yes, I will. In 2 days. Okay. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Sensei.
Yeah. Thank you. And just let me know if you have any questions anytime. Just message me online. Yeah. Okay.
And you're happy to look at my homework as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I sent you the file. So if you have any questions, just let me know.